And 6, top wild card in the AFC. 6 more wins than they had a year ago. Their largest improvement from one year to the next in 2 decades. And Harbaugh and his brother John sat down with our Adam Schefter to share some old family stories ahead of the playoffs.
For Jim, it was very, very clear-cut. His goal was, someday I'm going to play at the University of Michigan. I came from the Bo Schembecker School. I was here for 7 years. Bo and I had been playing some handball. Came into the office one time. Jim's sitting at Bo's desk with both feet on his desk. Bo walked into the door. He goes, "Hey, kid, what are you doing in my chair?" And Jim said, "We're just sitting here waiting for you." Bo goes, "Jack, I like that kid."
What impresses you most about Jim, John?
He's pretty much been kicking my butt ever since he was born. And he was such a great athlete. Like, he was always a better athlete than everybody. I just gained an admiration for him. I always watched him and said, man, I wanted to be the kind of athlete he was. I was at Miami, Ohio, and the coach was like, "Think we got a shot at Jim? Come to Miami?" I'm like, no, you got no shot. He's too good.
Rover on the blitz. He's open. Colasar. He'll go the distance. They won't catch him.
But to admire him.
Can we spread the word on this? Can we get that out there a little bit?
One of the most underrated quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League. Now, I've said this many times.
Harbaugh throws a perfect strike.
I love it. I love it. I see you, baby. Come on. Yeah.
Got drafted and he played 15 years, but he always said the same thing. I'm going to play football as long as I can play. When someone taps me on the shoulder and says I can't play anymore, then I'll know it's time to coach.
Hail, hail, Michigan. They are the champions of college football 2023.
And Jim's ability to connect with people, to come up with a great idea, to think it through, just the things he's doing with the Chargers. How he motivates those guys, man. It's just like he's a really brilliant guy. He's just got a knack. You watch him right now, you can see it. He's a talented, very talented person. I love him.
That's awesome.
So great. Lindsay Theory is with the Chargers in Houston for us. Lindsay, what is Jim Harbaugh saying about the Chargers' opportunity today?
Greeny, Jim Harbaugh is not satisfied just earning a playoff berth in his first season in LA, saying, "We don't want to settle, we want more." Harbaugh's team is the 5th youngest in the league this season, but they do have some veterans with playoff experience. I talked with Khalil Mack, asked him what he's tried to impart on his younger teammates about postseason football. Mack channeled his inner Coach Dan Campbell, the coach of the Lions, telling me biting kneecaps off, that's the kind of approach you take in the postseason. As for the Texans, there's been some highs and lows this year, but quarterback C.J. Stroud says with the playoffs, there is a new wind. This is a new season. This new season for the Texans, though, does come with a big challenge facing this Chargers defense. I spoke with running back Joe Mixon and asked him about facing the tandem of Matt and Joey Bosa. Mixon tells me everybody knows they are game wreckers, and we have to do everything we can to minimize them. Greeny.
Lindsay, thank you. Chargers about a field goal favorite on the road today. And Alex, you know Jim Harbaugh so well. You played for him. How has he gotten this team this good this quickly?
Yeah, Greeny, honestly, a part of something obviously very similar to my time in San Francisco with him, but it's so much more than X's and O's with this guy, right? Like, this is culture. This is accountability, right? He brings a gratitude and a joy to the game, and oftentimes professional sports can be heavy, right? And again, you see it in the goofy press conferences and his sayings and how much his players appreciate it, that this guy is so unapologetically himself sometimes. And again, listen, this early, the formula, it's not sexy, right? It's about fundamentals. It's ball control. It's field position. It's playing great defense, and then slowly, though, as this season's gone on and they've stacked wins, this offense has improved, and I think this team is dangerous, right? You combine how well this offense is playing with Justin Herbert at the helm, who I think's, listen, this is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and the #1 scoring defense in the league. Like, I think this team is poised to do some damage.
I think Harbaugh's the type of coach when, if you don't know him, and he gets into the locker room and you see all these quirky sayings he has, like him saying he remembers the day he was born, or they don't listen to them give you compliments, you'll get soft, kick him in the shin. These type of things, it's like, is this guy for real? Is this guy for real? At first, I'm sure that's what you think. But his consistency week in and week out, every single time, it's like, yeah, the dude's just a weird dude. And he says some kooky things, but damn it, we know what he wants.
And he loves ball.
We know what he wants. And that's the thing. He wants us to be physical. He wants us to run the ball. He wants us to play defense. That's clear on us as a player. And you respect that so much when your head coach has that message.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, old school values and things. But the most underrated thing in a great head football coach is the way he connects. You heard about his brother John talking about how he's a great connector. And he's a great connector with the fan base and his locker room. Like, it's crazy how he can connect with it. And he also brought in some great coaches with him. I mean, Greg Roman's doing an outstanding job as the offensive coordinator. But a young kid, Jesse Minter, all right, has brought that Baltimore Ravens system into the league. They lead, as you said, Alex, they lead the league in fewest points allowed. And it's a first-time coordinator. Like, he's done a hell of a job with that. But you build a culture. Look, they don't turn the ball over. The values, old school values, they don't turn the ball over.
Here's an old school value for you here. Offensive line.
Yes.
Offensive line. That's an old school value. And you got Rashawn Slater in there. Northwestern. And also Joe Alt on the other time. I swear it's like Justin Herbert's having a cup of coffee back there. I mean, the way that he can do it and the pockets that I've been watching, especially the last couple weeks, fellas, it's like, listen, go ahead and pump it. Go ahead and add a little, almond milk to your coffee. Do whatever you want, anything. I mean, it doesn't matter. We put a little cup of coffee right there for you, people, because just to illustrate how much time this guy has had. That's the whole thing. And Rex, you're right. Old school value, start with the offensive line. I don't know what he had, a number 3 overall pick, number 4 overall pick, go offensive tackle. That's old school.
Alt was the 5th pick in the draft, and he was an offensive tackle, and Justin Herbert had 23 touchdowns and 3 interceptions this season. Now, on the other side, Rex, you have made the people of Houston mad. You've made the Texans mad, so I'm going to give you a chance to make up with them here if you want. If you could choose, if you were in this field, and you could choose to play any of the 14 teams that are in the playoffs, which team would you choose to play?
I'm going to play Houston. And I've said it, and I know, and I love the people of Houston, and I love part of the team. I love their defense. I love the playmakers.
They love you?
Will Anderson,
they
Daniil Hunter. I mean, yeah, and even Lassiter and all that, the corner that they brought in. We had his dad for us. Stingley's an absolute stud.
Beast.
But it's the offense. And you can't tell me, like, you don't protect the quarterback. This was the guy I picked to be the MVP of the league. C.J. Stroud. And why? He has no chance back there. You're getting him absolutely obliterated. All right? He's second in the league in most sacks allowed. And by the way, your offense is dead last in first and second down production on offense. So you think you're gonna beat this team? I don't. And so I'm going to double down, and I know it. I mean, these guys can't wait. They're going to shut me up and all that. By the way, no, you're not. Even if you win, you're not shutting me up. What? No way. I'll say good for you. But you know what? Look, of course they got a chance here. I think their defense, it's going to come down. Can Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter get enough pressure on the quarterback to win this game? I don't know.
Listen, I love talking about quarterbacks and skill position players, but to me, this game comes down to the offense and defensive lines. And listen, these two teams have had a big contradiction in off seasons, right? The Chargers doubled down on O&D line, fundamentals, blocking and tackling, right? The Texans, you go get Stephon Diggs, you go get Joe Mixon, perimeter players. They've really suffered on the offensive line. I think whoever wins that battle wins this game.
All right, time for Rex to do what he does best, and those are the Rex Factors presented by ESPN Bet. Take us through some of the quarterbacks.
Well, I'm looking at this one. I think Justin Herbert is going to go over the number right there, 224.5 in this game. You guys have talked about it. He's really shooting the ball downfield. I think you see more of that today. They're going to have to stack it up to stop that run, and I think it's going to allow Herbert some opportunities down the field. C.J. Stroud, I'm going under this number. Look, he only has the one weapon. Obviously, Nico Collins, a great weapon, but Tank Dell out for the year, Diggs out for the year. I think it's a bad day for C.J. Stroud against the number 1 scoring defense in the league. And then Lamar Jackson, I think he definitely goes over this. And quite honestly, he may go over this number at halftime. No, I'm just kidding. But it's 224 yards. I think Lamar, for Baltimore to win, he's got to go over that number, so I'll take the over.
All right, we'll keep an eye on him. Coming up, Lamar taking on the Steelers. With the help of his right-hand man, Derrick Henry, our legend, Chris Berman, sat down with the king to take us inside a historic season.
The Raven way is real. Play like a Raven, you gotta earn it, and they gonna make sure you earn it.
Ask me how you get like this, how you live like this.
Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app to claim your new player bonus and for a limited time, unlock access to 30 days of ESPN Plus to stream exclusive live sports. Sign up with the promo code TOUCHDOWN to get started today.
Everyone is raving about September 5.
There's a hostage situation in the Olympic Village.
It's masterful.
250 pounds that can run that fast. That's unfair.
So you got 106 rushing touchdowns now. You know that ties you 6th all-time with, wait for it, Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Like Jim Brown,
yeah.
Okay? You upped your yards per carry for your career. Nobody does that in their 30s. You're 4.9. The reason I bring that up are the guys that lugged it a ton of times. 3rd, Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Derrick Henry.
Okay.
But to be mentioned with those guys, what does that mean to you?
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. 2018, I was having a really rough year, So thought I might be out of the league, coming to 2019 season, and we ended up playing Cleveland for the first game, and we were coming out of the locker room at halftime, and I'm going to the bench, and I see a cart coming down on our sideline, coming down the way, and it's Jim Brown. He's in the cart, and I'm like, I gotta say something. So I run over there like real fast, and I'm like, Mr. Brown, it's an honor to meet you. You're a legend. So grateful to be able to meet you. And he shook my hand. He didn't say much. I mean, I don't know if it has any truth to it, but what my parents always say, that's when my career has taken off. So
now we're to the playoffs. Welcome to the Ravens-Steelers rivalry, right? What are you looking at first and foremost, you, Derrick, in this game coming up?
Yeah, physical game of fourth-quarter battle. It's going to be some hard-earned runs. I mean, these games are always tough. They've been that way before. I haven't gotten here, and me growing up and watching them. This is going to be a fourth-quarter battle. It's going to be a heavyweight fight.
When they're up against it, they're going to run Lamar. Be great.
Remember your last playoff win? I know you do.
My last playoff win, yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Well, where was that? I think it was in Baltimore as a Tennessee Titan.
Yes, it was.
For almost 200.
Yes.
So you remember it.
I definitely
Do you
remember.
remind Lamar and Coach that, or you've kept it quiet?
We talk about it all the time. We always laugh and joke. We can laugh and joke about it now.
Direct snap. Henry. Jump pass. Oh, trickery.
But yeah, we talk about it all the time. You're funny for that. That's hilarious.
Now that is so great to see the two of them together there. Boomer, obviously the legend, and you'll see him tonight on a special edition of NFL Countdown, getting set for everything. And Henry, of course, is going to try to help Lamar Jackson make a deep playoff run. So let's go through the numbers here. Lamar Jackson is 2-4 in the postseason with the same number of touchdown passes and interceptions. You've heard it a million times. The Ravens averaging just 16 points per game in his playoff career. He's also 2-4 against the Steelers in his career, but he did have his best game against Pittsburgh a few weeks ago. 3 touchdown passes to 3 different players in a 17-point win in Baltimore, which is where we have Kimberly Martin, who is in Baltimore with us. Kmart, what are Lamar Jackson and his teammates saying about his playoff struggles?
Well, Greeny, despite his MVP type of season that he's having, Lamar talked this week about how he's gotten antsy, about the mistakes that he's made in those critical moments. He started 6 playoff games, and in those games he has 6 interceptions and 3 lost fumbles. And he said, I need to be better, I need to be more composed. But when I talked to his teammates, in particular tight end Mark Andrews, about what the biggest difference in Lamar is this season, Andrews told me, listen, Lamar is a perfectionist, and those mistakes, Greeny, that you mentioned in the playoffs, they eat at him. But Lamar, we believe in him. He is our guy. And Mark Andrews told me, when you play with the best player, the greatest player in the world, you expect to win it all, and that's Lamar's standard and expectation for this organization. But Greeny, we all know Lamar has struggled against the Steelers in particular in his career, and today he will be without his #1 target, Zay Flowers. As for the weather, no snow during kickoff expected, but as you can see by my hair, it is windy, and by this hood, it is cold, so the players have to deal with those elements. But as guys on both sides told me, that's AFC North football. We wouldn't want it any other way.
All right, Kmart, get warm someplace. Outstanding work as always. And so let's get into it, Rex. This is the moment for Lamar Jackson, right? It was supposed to be set up for them last year. Now they've added Derrick Henry. What is the key for this team to finally get over the hump?
Stay true to your identity, Greeny, and that's to be a physical football team. Run the football first, and then we can open up the pass game. But to me, stay on the ground. And I think if you do that, Derrick Henry, the more you give this guy the football, the better your chances of winning the game. Look, nobody can stop this guy. And I've always said there's only one coordinator in the league can stop him if you're committed to him, and that's his own offensive coordinator. Come on. Don't make Lamar Jackson Tom Brady again. I know you're going for head coaching jobs. Don't. Put the ball in the belly of Derrick Henry, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Lamar Jackson is, I mean, the Steelers said this is what they wanted, right? Because they're familiar with the Ravens and they know the plan, but then there's a plan and then there's executing a plan. I'm going to show you a little bit right here. Because the plan that they have sometimes is spot on, but sometimes they just can't get it executed. Come on over here with me. The magician in Lamar Jackson. So here's the plan on this particular play right here. Man-to-man coverage. There's that single high safety up top. You've got Cam Sutton over here on the running back, and there's your spy. Your spy with Patrick Queen. Sounds good, Rex, right? We got a plan. There it is. Justice Hill, all right, nice little chip on the defensive end on Watt. We've got the spy over here. Safety has the running back. Safety has the running back. Safety has the running back. No, he doesn't have the running back. But this is what Lamar Jackson does. And how does Lamar find Justice Hill all the way over here? How does he know that he is a bust in coverage here? Patrick Queen now has to come out of his spy and chase Justice Hill. And Patrick Queen knows, bust. We know there's a bust. That's the problem. You've got the plan. You go through all week in the meetings, in the board, or man-to-man with the spy. Here it is. We got it done. But you see 8 in purple, and it's like, oh, my gosh, I got more to do. That's been the problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers all year.
Well, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face, as Mike Tyson famously said. The absence of Zay Flowers, how does that factor into this game for Baltimore?
Oh, it's huge. And I'm going to disagree with you again, Rex. Like, I don't think that Baltimore can be one-dimensional in this game. I mean, that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers want. They would love to just see a heavy dose of boring run game, right? And I think that's what Zay Flowers' injury really presents, is like, who else outside scares you? I mean, I know Bateman's had a decent year, right? These tight ends are good players, but they're not explosive, right? I think you feel good about Minkah Fitzpatrick manning up on those guys, and you sell out to stop the run. You dare them to throw the ball consistently on the outside again, because their best receiving threat is out. And I'll say this. I don't think there's a player in the league or a team in the league that has more pressure on them than Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah,
that is more than anybody. Because, listen, this is the greatest, arguably the greatest regular season quarterback ever. And postseason-wise, I mean, it's not even close.
And let me tell you,
it's bad. And until he rewrites that, anything short of the Super Bowl for the Baltimore Ravens is a failure.
Yeah,
anything short of that.
I think that's another reason why you put the ball in the belly of that hoss behind you.
Yep.
And to me, because take some of the pressure off them. The more success you have running the football, the easier it's going to be. You're going to have more time to throw the football down the field. The other thing is, too, let's make no mistake about this. The running game is not just Derrick Henry. It's Lamar as well in this.
Yeah.
And so, to me, that's what you want to do. Your best receiver's out. We don't need to throw it all over the place. And even if we drop back, Lamar, use your legs, take off. It's not like a regular season game when it's either run for first downs or touchdowns that you do in the red zone or on third down. It's every snap. We've got to get it done here. We don't need to sit back and throw it all over the field in bad conditions. This is an opportunity. You're a better football team than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pound it. And most physical team always wins these matchups.
What Kimberly Martin said that struck with me was when Mark Andrews, she talked to him and he says, Lamar wants to be perfect. When he makes a mistake, it eats at him. That's what I noticed. That's the problem with the Baltimore Ravens. I noticed it last year in the championship game when they were getting penalties and playing out of themselves. When one mistake happens, they let it snowball. And now that's the thing Lamar can't do, because I guarantee you, you're not going to play perfect and you're going to make mistakes. But when you make that mistake, can Lamar move on from it? That's what I've noticed from Lamar in big games. Playoff games, he makes a mistake, he's throwing his helmet, he gets inside of himself, and it takes him a quarter to get over it. If he does that again, you can get beat today.
A legitimate comparison, and I've made it on Get Up all the time, is to the early Peyton Manning years. And that, of course, was your team. He could never get past. The knock on Manning was he was maybe the greatest regular season quarterback we had ever seen, and then he'd run into you in the playoffs, and things would start getting sideways. Is there a similarity there?
That was early. That was early Peyton. I think, but
this is pretty early.
Lamar's got a team behind him. I think Peyton, in those early days, needed so many other pieces to get to where he did in 06 and finally beating us and running the football and just really just, in 06, the way they beat us and came back, I think we were up by about 21 points. But the teams changed for Peyton. Lamar has had #1 seed, #2 seed, great teams that he still had these problems up top. You make a mistake, you can't dwell. You got to move on.
We'll see if he's able to do it. Meanwhile, we're going to tell you who's going to win all these games. Our game picks are on the way, and the itch to start the wild card weekend is in the air. Anybody taking the Steelers to upset their division rivals today? You'll find out who we've got next.
You're watching postseason NFL Countdown presented by Snickers.
Hey, that's great. But who are the chefs?
Rookie mistake?
Great googly moogly.
Maybe you just need a Snickers.
Dove Men Plus Care Whole Body DO protects you everywhere. Here, when you're there. There, when you're here. Even down there. Dove Men Whole Body DO. Care that goes everywhere. Everywhere.
Prime's exclusive wild card playoff game is coming tonight. The Steelers, the Ravens. They're a prime Super Bowl contender. What a night. Prime's exclusive wild card playoff game. Steelers, Ravens, tonight at 7:30 Eastern. Only on Prime.
What makes Chipotle chicken so different from everybody else?
Yeah, we cook. We actually cook it. It's naturally raised, no artificial anything.
It's not frozen.
It's never frozen, ever.
Ever? No. At Chipotle.
No freezers. It's really fresh.
Why do NFL players choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
I like to sleep cool.
And I like to sleep even cooler.
And I really like it when we both get what we want.
Introducing the new Sleep Number Climate Cool smart bed. Sleep up to 15 degrees cooler on each side. Visit a Sleep Number store near you.
I'll only be gone a couple days, Rumi.
Yay.
I put all the important contact info on the fridge.
I know how to get in touch with USAA. I can file a claim or chat right in the app. USAA, Auto, Home, Life, and Bank.
Pop-Tart. Crazy!
When I was younger, my calling was to play football. But as I grew older, I realized life isn't about how many people you can knock down. It's about how many people you can lift up. At Ram, our calling is to build game-changing trucks. So when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
Right now, during the Ram Start Something.
January 20th, 7:30 Eastern here on ESPN. It's Ohio State. It's Notre Dame. We'll have you covered for the game from every possible direction, TV, radio, digital, so many ways to watch and listen to the biggest game of the year. By the way, Cooper Flagg and Duke taking on Notre Dame right after we wrap up here in just a matter of moments. In case you haven't seen much of Cooper Flagg, did you guys see the dunk this week?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me a little Cooper Flagg slam dunk action right about here, fellas. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let's go.
I can't do that in the kids' pop shop. Like, are you kidding me?
All right. We will be back tomorrow at our usual time at 10 a.m. Eastern for Sunday NFL Countdown. And we will be talking about the games that were played today. Let us pick today's winners in the games in which the order in which these games will be played. We got the Chargers. We got the Texans early. I think we all know which direction Rex is going.
I mean, I'm going to take the Chargers. I believe in old school football, especially this time of year. And I just think like Jim Harbaugh, the job he's done, that staff, I think they're going to be too much for this Texans team.
I think this game's going to be close for especially early. I like the Chargers pulling away in the second half. I agree they're too good up front. Again, I think they win the battle of the trenches, and that's the difference.
They call it wild card weekend for a reason. Okay, there's always one game where one team makes a play that's unexpected, special teams or defense, and they win the football game. I think the Texans defense is good enough. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. I love Azeez El-Shaair. He's back at linebacker. Christian Harris is a great young player, speedy linebacker, and that rush of Anderson and Hunter, they can do enough to make a play here and a play there against a team that plays close to the vest.
By the way, Chargers 13 and 4 against the number this year, best of any team in the league. I've got the Chargers to win. Tonight, the Ravens, the Steelers in Baltimore. Who you got?
I just think the trend continues in Pittsburgh, unfortunately. I think it's their 6th loss in a row in these playoffs. I think the team that always is more physical wins this game. It's Baltimore this week.
I like Baltimore as well. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think, though. I think the Steelers are not scared of this matchup. They know him well, and they know how to defend Lamar. I think Lamar gets it done, though, and I think he gets it done with his legs. I want to see creative run game, unleash him today. Yeah. It might be a little nasty weather, cold, let him go.
I'm going Ravens. That Steeler offensive line has struggled behind an aging quarterback that doesn't have his usual mobility. Van Noy, career year and 12.5 sacks. Where'd he come from? I think he makes another big play. Give me the Ravens.
2 words for you, and Rex is going to love them. Justin Fields. Chef, you told us to expect a sprinkle of him. I like the Steelers to keep this game close. Baltimore will win, but no way in the world am I giving 9.5 points. Okay, when we are back tomorrow for our usual full 3-hour show at 10 a.m. Eastern, I want to play a game now of fill in the blank. What will we be saying tomorrow morning at 10? Alex, I'll start with you. Tomorrow we will be saying what?
I think we're going to be asking who is the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers next year. Lots of question marks. I think tonight's performance by Russ will have some, obviously will dictate that, but I think that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow.
Yeah, and there are many questions about Pittsburgh going forward if it goes that way. All right, Rex, fill in the blank. Tomorrow we will be saying what?
I think we'll be saying that, oh boy, this Justin Herbert is every bit as talented as any quarterback in the National Football League. That's what I think we're going to be talking about.
And finally,
you ready?
Mr. Brewski,
you ready?
What are we going to be saying tomorrow?
Tomorrow we'll be saying Rex will be apologizing to the Houston Texans. You said it was a bye. You said this is the team you wanted to play. I think they're going to come out and play. And Rex is, I want a written one. I'm sorry on a piece of paper and show it to the Texans. He's going to be apologizing, Houston.
I will definitely apologize and things, but no way do I shut up. You got to be kidding me. I will sit back and say, I was wrong. There's no question about it.
Apology.
You know what? It ain't going to happen. I'm doubling down. You're going down, Houston.
We'll see. Well, I just canceled our dinner reservations for our trip to Houston next week because Lord knows no one there is excited to see us. Enjoy the games this afternoon and tonight. Again, we'll be back for our usual time tomorrow morning, our full 3-hour show with a very special guest in studio. So we will see you then tomorrow morning. But right now, college basketball. Cooper Flagg and company. Duke and Notre Dame are next. Enjoy.
Houston.
Playoffs.
Con sỏi nha, đừng con sỏi. Các bạn, đây là vòng của mình đây, vòng của mình hoàn thành rồi, video của mình đến đây là kết thúc nha. Cậu có nhảy cái điện thoại nào của em không đấy?
Rồi. Rồi.
Ở đâu nhé? Như...
Một số bạn.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các bạn đã quay trở lại với kênh YouTube của mình. Video ngày hôm nay của mình sẽ là làm video gì đây? Nhiều quá, không biết làm video gì. Đây, rất nhiều những sản phẩm mình đã.
Rồi tiếp tục móc những mũi tiếp theo vào. Tiếp tục móc. Cứ lần lượt từng mũi cho mình cho đến hết nhé. Mình sẽ móc tiếp những mũi còn lại cũng y như vậy. Tiếp tục này. Tiếp tục mũi nữa này. Mọi người cứ lần lượt cho mình cho đến hết. Rồi bây giờ tiếp tục móc. Lặp đi lặp lại những mũi giống nhau. Ok nha, giờ sẽ móc tiếp. Mình làm lần lượt cho đến hết. Mũi nữa này. Mọi người móc cho đến khi được cái đường viền hoa cho mình là được. Tiếp tục móc nhá. Rồi móc thêm 3 mũi bính. Nối vào. Mình siết dây nhé. Gỡ thêm chút len ra để sử dụng nhé mọi người. Giờ sẽ móc tiếp những mũi tiếp theo vào. Rồi bây giờ tiếp tục móc nha. Lần lượt từng mũi một. Mình sẽ móc tiếp cho đến khi hết. Tiếp tục nha mọi người. Cứ lần lượt từng mũi một. Mình móc tiếp này. Lặp đi lặp lại những cái mũi giống nhau. Rồi móc xuống. Tiếp tục những mũi nữa nhé. Tiếp tục nhé. Mọi người cứ móc lần lượt như này cho mình. Đấy. Từng mũi lên. Mình tiếp tục mình móc xuống. Rất nhanh thôi mình sẽ hoàn thành được nó rồi. Tiếp tục móc. Đấy mọi người nhìn này. Những cánh hoa rất là xinh như này nhá. Nó bám lấy cái phần viền như này. Mình sẽ móc nốt những cái phần còn lại cũng y như vậy nhá. Mình tiếp tục mình móc này. Cứ móc lần lượt từng mũi một cho đến hết nhá. Bây giờ mình sẽ tiếp tục mình móc. Đây móc xuống. Mọi người làm lần lượt cho đến hết cho mình. Mũi nữa này. Rồi bây giờ tiếp tục móc 3 mũi bính. Mọi người cứ làm luân phiên từng mũi một. Rồi bây giờ móc tiếp nha. Lặp đi lặp lại những cái mũi giống nhau. Mình sẽ móc tiếp những mũi còn lại cũng y như vậy. Tiếp tục nha mọi người. Mình tiếp tục mình móc này. Rồi lại móc tiếp những mũi bính. Lại nối xuống đây. Đấy, những cánh hoa rất là xinh rồi. Còn một ít cánh nữa là mình sẽ hoàn thiện được nhá. Đây, còn một